Liv, you excited to see some properties? See what they're like? Yeah, me too.
My name is Andrew.
My name's Olivia.
And we are here in Roanoke, Virginia.
Because we were going to see if we were going to move here or stay here.
Park City is not going to be the place for us. We found that we can get about 12 times the amount of property for a much cheaper price. So we're going to look at lots here in Roanoke because we got to make a big decision on which lot we're going to build our house on.
Welcome to the Christmas couple. I hope you liked the video.
Are you ready to go have a good day?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So our lot in Park City was half an acre at $1.3 million. So what we really want is better than that. Our goal is more acreage, maybe somewhere between 2 and 4 acres on the higher end, and the goal is to save a ton of money. We want to be a reasonable distance from grocery stores and stuff and things like that. Also to Olivia's school that we've picked out that we think would be really great for her. So here are the contenders.
Okay, so this would be our neighborhood. Definitely sparsely populated, but there are houses everywhere. But they're really far apart from each other, so that's nice.
We are calling first lot Twisty Turny Lot. Some pros of this property: an absolutely gorgeous view. Big fan of that. This is a good amount of land. There's already a good amount of mature trees, but then the cons, this is gonna require a lot of excavating, so not a big fan of that. Also, not a big fan of car sickness, which I am prone to, and these roads specifically to this one, lots of motion sickness, very twisty-turny, and that's something that's not gonna go away. That's always gonna be the route to and from the house. Very narrow roads, scary to drive at night, would be really scary when the kids are starting to drive, just not great.
This is the huge lot. The pros of this lot: it's a ton of space. We can put our house anywhere on the lot, and we are going to have a ton of room for a front yard and a backyard. It's incredibly flat. There's not going to be a ton of excavation we need. We don't have to remove a ton of trees and rocks and fill in giant slopes. It has this really chill neighbor guy that came out and talked to us, and he was super helpful and informative, and the builder that we like actually built his house as well, and he said he did a great job. The neighborhood feels like a nice, quiet neighborhood. It is a really good distance to grocery stores and restaurants, and it's a good distance to Olivia's school as well. It's also got a fantastic price. There are cons though. There are no large specimen trees to feature in the yard. It will require lots of landscaping as far as large shade trees go, and that might get kind of expensive. It doesn't really have a mountain view. And finally, 6 acres is double what we were kind of guessing for what we wanted. A lot of mowing, a lot of landscaping. It's just a lot more than we were expecting. So this is the next neighborhood. Looks like it's a little more like a traditional suburb, yeah. There's a golf course, country club.
Okay, so this one, combo golf course lots. Let's talk about the pros. There's huge potential for really beautiful views once it turns fall and you can see all the colors. Love that. We're in a gated community, so there's that added level of security. We're not right up against neighbors, so that's nice. You get a little bit of a buffer there. However, that leads me into the cons. You are on the golf course. I totally get that for some people that would go in the pros column, but we are not those pros, golf or otherwise. Like we don't golf. I'm not the person to be right on a golf course, and I mean it. It's like the front yard. There are golf carts that are going to be driving right in front of the house constantly. Not to mention there's this massive steep drop off in like the backyard area of where that would go, and so that plus just the leveling out of everything, it's going to be a ton of excavating for this lot in general. We'd have to purchase not only one lot, but 2, possibly 2 HOA fees. And it just doesn't feel secluded like at all. There's no privacy, again, right on the golf course.
Okay, so these lots we're gonna call the gated combo lots. And the pros are it's really close to stuff. It's got a fantastic view of the mountains. Once we would clear out some trees up there, it would just be a straight shot to a gorgeous mountain view. There are lots of really large, pretty specimen trees all through the property that we could easily just pick and choose ones that we'd want to stay on our property. And it's completely flat. Like, it wouldn't take a ton of excavating and we wouldn't have to fill in any giant steep slopes. It's also gated, which adds an extra layer of comfort. There are some cons though. It's expensive. We are essentially paying for 2 lots. We would have to remove a ton of trees, even if we kept a lot of the big specimen trees. There's also a likelihood that we would have to pay 2 HOAs, even though there's only one house between the 2 properties.
Okay, so pros. Very similar experience to the previous lots.
Right, we would be.
It's right down the street from it. So really all those pros go for this one as well. Leading me into the cons, however. So again, we've got 2 lots that would be required. 2 HOA dues. Not to mention, one of the lots here has a really bizarre shape. So it's got this really long, skinny part on one side that we wouldn't even be able to utilize as a driveway, but we can't because it's further down the road. So you'd have to get past the house in order to get to your driveway. And so this is just like a big land buffer.
This next lot is called the super steep lot, and you can probably guess the con, but I'm going to start with the pros anyway. It's in a really lovely neighborhood. The lot is a really good size. It's on a cul-de-sac, which is great. I grew up on a cul-de-sac. I love a good cul-de-sac, and it's got a good price. Why wouldn't it? Because it's so steep. It would take cons, right? It would take massive excavation. There are tons of huge trees in there. It would just be super expensive to make a livable lot.
On to the magnificent view lot. So, pros. Obviously, it's in the title, the view. It's a stunning view. You buying the view. It's semi-secluded. We've got nice big trees. The land overall seems very flat. However, going into the cons, this is like really expensive. Reference to the Park City lot, it's not as expensive, but we're looking at different things now, right? So not only that, it's super difficult to get to. It is this steep gravel, like gotta get up a big ramp to get there. And then you get up there and there's still gonna be a ton of excavating required. Poor Liv gets car sick on the way up there, and she's not even the one prone to car sickness. I am, so meh.
So which one do you think we picked? The twisty-turny road lot, the huge lot, the golf course combo lots, the gated combo lots, the huge tail combo lot, the super steep lot, or the magnificent view lot? Place your bets.
Drum roll, please. We went with the huge lot.
It turns out county wouldn't let us build a house in the middle of 2 combined lots.
So that took a ton of stuff out of the running that really we did like.
However, it saved us $100,000 in property costs.
We're saving money also on landscaping, excavating all of those properties because the huge lot is basically ready for a house.
Not only that, but the guy that we want to build our house literally owns the lot. So it makes for a really easy transaction.
And I mean, almost 6 acres of land, which while it sounds a little daunting, the price is right and it's ready to go.
It feels right for us. We prayed about it and things just kind of lined up for this property. And so we pulled the trigger on it.
So we're really excited.
And then one last stop at the interior designer. Emily Mangus.